Today is a day to reckon with politically. First and foremost, it's thought to be a matter of if, but a matter of when the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was going to be tabled. And today, it has finally been tabled. And 10 accounts have been charged against the Deputy President for his impeachment. It is still a motion, but I'm going to take you through all the 10 reasons as why members of parliament, over 200 members of parliament, want the Deputy President impeached. As well, there is a motion in the Senate by Makueni Senator Dan Manzo to censure the President for not taking care of Kenyans when they most needed him. I'm going to be talking to you about that. But as well, David Morara Kebaso, who was abducted on Monday evening, has been released today, and he has been charged with cases of cyber harassment. What does it really entail? If you want to know, stay tuned and remember to become a subscriber and turning on the notification bell, because if you do, then you will get notified whenever we put out a new video. Let's get straight into it. Many political analysts and some of the politicians who talk to the breakfast shows in the country had already called the verdict that the Deputy President was going to be impeached. But the question on their mouth was who was bold enough to table the motion of impeachment of the Deputy President. Many said that definitely it was not going to be a member of parliament from the Mount Kenya region, because that would be so much political soiling on that particular politician. And they also went ahead and said that it would not be a person from the Nyanza region, because there would be reasons for why a person from Nyanza would want to impeach the Deputy President, and that would have created a sort of a tribal war between the people from the central Kenya region and those from Nyanza, where they would have peddled the narrative that Raila wants to become the next Deputy President. But some political analysts got it straight on that the member of parliament who was going to table the motion of impeachment for the Deputy President was going to come from an unusual place. And some said eastern, some said northern, but this time the mover of the motion to impeach the Deputy President is none other than the Member of Parliament of Kibwezi West, Member of Parliament Ekomas Mwengi, prepared 10 charges to kick the Deputy President out of office, bringing to forefront the implosion of the Kenya Kwanza administration after 2 years in office. Now, what are the 10 accounts? Let us go through them slowly by slowly. Charge number 1 is making insightful remarks. And this charge is borrowed from the statements that the Deputy President for the longest time peddled that the Kenya Kwanza government was a shareholders government. These remarks, the tabler of the motion says that they incited Kenyans against each other and trying to fight for the share or an equitable share of the government. Charge number 2, undermining the president and the cabinet. There has been reports of like 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago that the deputy president asked for over 5 billion Kenyan shillings for every single vote that he delivered to the Kenya Kwanza government. This is where this particular charge is coming from, that if I'm president and you are the deputy president, then why would you be asking money from me to pay for every vote that you brought onto the table? But also, this is in line with that parallel conference that the deputy president did in Mombasa, or held in Mombasa, during the demonstrations by the Gen Zs. This was termed, or this is looked at as undermining the president and the cabinet. Now, charge number 3 is interfering with the leadership of the Nairobi County government. This one definitely had to be a part of the charge sheet, because for the longest time, the deputy president has kept in the lane of Governor of Nairobi, Johnson Sakaja. And I think whoever came up with these charges, they were like, yes, this one will stick, because there is outright evidence of the deputy president constantly meddling in the business of Nairobi County. And I think Johnson Sakaja must be laughing right now at the deputy president. Now, charge number 4 is attack against Lady Justice Esther Maina of the High Court. Remember, during or towards the election period, Rigathi Gachagua and a number of people who were in UD at that particular time, they were slapped with frivolous cases as they were termed at that particular time. Okay, and Rigathi Gachagua single-handedly sought out a judge who was in charge of that particular corruption case that was weighted against him. Now, this was said during the political time, and it also looked as in favor of the entire UDA as a political party. But they're like, no, we weren't a part of that. You tried to threaten a high court judge, and that is bad manners as a deputy president. Charge number 5 is violating the oath of office. Charge number 6 is violating the National Cohesion and Integration Act. Charge number 7 is amassing properties worth 5.2 billion illegally. How they are coming up with this number, it is still uncertain, but of course, it has been said that the deputy president will still be given an opportunity to go into Senate to defend himself. But some of the wealth that they are talking about is that amount of money that it is said that he withdrew from the account of the deputy president's office and went ahead and invested in private businesses. But also, he is accused of doing business through his wife and 2 of his sons. And charge number 8 is misleading the public. How has he misled the public? One, on when we go back at or on charge number 1 on insightful remarks, misleading the public in terms of saying that this government is only looking at those people who voted for the current government. So that has been termed as misleading the public as well. And gross misconduct. The gross misconduct is going behind on the stand of the government. We saw in a recent interview that he did, him talking about the president and his stances during the Gen Z protests, where he accused the Ford Foundation, but also later on the president going to the UNGA General Summit or the UN General Assembly, and now meeting on a side event, meeting with the Director General of Ford Foundation and congratulating him on the work that he is doing, or the work that the foundation is doing in Kenya. So that is one of the gross misconduct that he is being charged. And as well, charge number 10 is bullying. Okay, the deputy president is being charged of bullying in his impeachment motion. How is he a bully? One, Ichungwa came out and said that the deputy president tried to bully the government blogger, that is Itumbi. It has also been said that bullying other subordinates, that is member of parliaments and all of that, and also bullying the president. It is not only limited to members of parliament and other subordinate workers in government, but also the president. How deputy president can bully President William Ruto? That is a no-brainer indeed. So do you think that these 10 counts are going to stand to impeach the deputy president? If you agree with me, kindly put your comments in the comment section. If you disagree, you can also make use of the comment section. Another story that is making headlines this evening is the Makueni senator, who is Dan Manzo, has come up and filed a censure motion against President William Ruto. Now, Makueni Senator Dan Manzo has filed a censure motion against President William Ruto for what he terms questionable conduct while in office. Now, Manzo argues that Ruto has breached the constitution in a myriad of occurrences, including failing to protect Kenyans from police brutality pursuant to Article 131 and 25 of the Constitution on the fundamental rights and freedoms of Kenyans, and promoting and enhancing the unity of the nation. Now, the senator further argued that Ruto has marginalized a section of Kenyans and continued to heighten tensions in the nation by failing to ensure there is proper public participation in the implementation of his contentious politics. These accounts, or this censure motion, if you do not know what a censure motion is, there is a video that we did, and I have put it in the comment section that you can get to know what a censure motion is. But what Dan Manzo is basically saying, that the president has failed to protect Kenyans. Remember, a censure motion is not the same as an impeachment motion. And the accounts that Senator Dan Manzo is talking about: one, there has not been proper public participation on the SHIF, that is the Social Health Insurance Fund, which actually has rolled out today. There wasn't proper public participation on a number of policies that the president has and is still implementing. So Dan Manzo is saying, hey, Mr. President, we think, or he personally thinks that he is out of order and he should be brought up. This subject should be brought up in Senate to be discussed and a clear way forward determined. But politically, this is also a huge statement. This censure motion comes as the motion of impeachment is being tabled in Parliament. Okay, now, if you look at Kenya, if you look at Rigathi Gachagua as the deputy president and Kalonzo Musyoka, they have been working hand in hand. If you look at Dan Manzo, senator of Makueni, is a very staunch supporter of Kalonzo Musyoka. So might this censure motion be coming in to intimidate whoever wants to impeach the deputy president to sort of hold their horses? Or is this trying to level heads on what is happening in the impeachment of the deputy president? You can tell me in the comment section as well. The last story of the day is activist Morara Kebaso, charged with cyber harassment, freed on 50,000 Kenyan shillings bail. Now, David Morara Kebaso has been charged with cyber harassment under Section 27 of the Computer Misuse and Cyber Crimes Act number of 2018. Now, Kenya leader Martha Karua is serving as Kebaso's lead counsel alongside a team of more than 10 advocates. The charges that follow his dramatic arrest on Monday stem from an incident that occurred on September 26, 2024. He is accused of posting false information on his X account about billionaire businessman David Langat. Now, this is how the post reads like. Kebaso wrote, William Ruto approached dear Langat and told him he desperately needs more money for campaign. Dear Langat used his properties as security and took big loans to help his friend. Right now, dear Langat is being auctioned by banks, and the person who is buying the properties is William Ruto. To make it worse, William Ruto has used his power to undervalue the properties to buy them at a cheaper price. That is the kind of person we are dealing with. He has no friends. Now, dear Langat is a very long-term friend of the president, and he is a billionaire in the country. And in a charge sheet, it said that dear Langat is the one who lodged the case against David Morara Kebaso. But dear Langat has come out and said, hey, I am not in any way whatsoever a part of this charging. So is somebody trying to frame Langat so that they do not get the backlash of young people in Kenya for the arrest and arraignment of Morara Kebaso? Tell me what you think. But also, I see a sinister, it might be a good thing, but also it might be a sinister move. Martha Karua withdrawal from the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition. That used to give her prominence in terms of politics. But right now, she is lead counsel of Morara Kebaso. Is she trying to look for another way to gain relevance and prominence in the political scene in the country? If so, what do you take, or what's your take about it? If not, also, what other moves or what other gimmicks can Martha Karua use to make sure that her political relevance remains up-notch?